We're back again with some high-ranked team game action here. It's Age of Mythology Retold casted game. This just happened on the rank ladder. I think it's from yesterday, so we're going to be checking this one out. I think it's around 1700-ish ELO team game, which is pretty high, so we're going to be checking this one out. It is the blue, teal, and yellow versus the green, maroon, and red. So that's something you got to kind of keep in the back of your mind. It's pretty difficult to tell with these colors sometimes. But if I was to then put team game colors on, I think it gets confusing when you swap them. So we're going to go for this one. In the blue is Pretty Girl 44 as the Odin. Odin's probably one of the best team game gods there is. Maybe I need to put a team game tier list out. Maybe that's a thing to do after Japanese releases. So we have Nightmare the Odin as well on the same team. And in the teal, we have Requiem the Hades. He's a pretty high level 1v1 guy, very, very high. I would assume top 50 by this point, definitely top 100 if not. Then on the other side, their opponents in the red is Ogneni J, a prominent streamer, streams a lot of team games, even streams Voobly, so the old game, which is wild to me, but he does. Loves his team games. In this middle side of their team is Miracle as the green Hades. I believe we've seen a Miracle game before when we spectated some team games. Obviously a very strong team game player there. And then somebody I don't recognize the name of, Liquidation, potentially a smurf of somebody, or just somebody that's high level in the team games, playing Frey, one of the best team game gods there is. I mean, Hades is obviously pretty good because he can be quite defensive. It's not a god that you generally see. Normally, if you pick a Greek, it tends to be Zeus or Poseidon because you then get the ceasefire. Ceasefire can be extremely strong. I mean, something good about Hades is he obviously has the sentinels that can be dropped on anyone that's being attacked. So that is one good thing from his side there. He also does have the underworld similar to Zeus. So there are some good options and the restoration. So I mean, his god powers are insanely strong. But often we do see ceasefires against things that Odin really wants to do. The map, what is the map? The map is Savannah, so super open map. Probably the most open map there is in Retold, or at least within the map pool. And then a decent amount of hunt really spawns on it. I don't expect to see fast second town centers there, especially with the gods that have kind of been picked. But I mean, you do never know what these guys are really thinking. So about 3 minutes 30 in, I would expect to start seeing some advanced times very, very soon. So it looks like Teal here is going to go through Athena. He is the first one up. And then on the green side, we're going to be able to see Athena coming through as well. So both of those going up very quickly. And I assume we'll see some Freyas coming in. So yellow is going through Freya. And blue is going to go through Heimdall? That seems a bit weird. He's pre-queued both of them. Potentially, I've got both of them up at one time, which is wild. So we have Heimdall coming through here, and then the Isis going through Bast and Ula. So few different gods. So we have a Heimdall and we have a Freya for Odin. I mean, normally you see them go Freya. It just makes sense. You want to build those fast units when you're doing team games. You're raiding cavalry, your Valkyries. You then get the Thundering Hooves tech to make them even quicker. And a very early prosperity actually dropped by the red Ogneni here, by Isis, potentially wanting to go for some kind of town center or a barracks spam, just to spam loads of barracks up, get some priests in and put on some early pressure. Monument-wise, what is he looking at? Is it just the two? So he's got two monuments. Could potentially go for some kind of Sphinx play. I think we have to click on this one to see it. So he's got 1,000 gold banked up, but only enough favor just to get one thing out. So potentially going for a town center. It looks like it is going to be a back town center. Sphinx is going to be more than enough to actually defend that one, and he's got enough for another town center. And also getting Sacred Cats in, which is very, very nice. On this side, we do see Requiem going for a forward town center, potentially knowing that he is against the Isis. If we go over to his perspective, I assume he knows that. He knows he's against the Isis. Had a scout on this forward town center, knows that after the prosperity comes down, he's probably going to be getting one. And yep, I was completely wrong. Everyone's getting a town center here. Blue's getting a town center. He was the one that went through Heimdall, wasn't he? So Heimdall normally wants town centers. because you get things like Safeguard, which makes them cheaper. Not just that, you also get Riggs Thula, which is the tech which makes everything train faster. Units, villagers, I think even techs train faster with it. It's a pretty ridiculous upgrade. It's probably underused, to be honest. I mean, obviously, whenever anyone goes through Heimdall, they're going to use that one. But don't see Heimdall as often as maybe we should. So Requiem just wanted to double check that town center is up. Unfortunately, does lose his scout for that one. And the Odin Raven from Pretty Girl is also going to have a look. Some nice hunt on this town center. A wall over here is going to cost a decent amount, especially if you'll have to go around that gold mine. So actually, Miracle was coming over. I thought he was actually going to defend, but we see some relics being grabbed. So heroes regen. The only thing about team games is there's so many relics, you kind of miss them out. Town centers are cheaper, which is nice. Buildings do more damage. Heroes regen. Looks like Requiem's got every relic. Town centers provide more pop, so they're cheaper and provide more pop. And that means that he is going to go for a third town center. I mean, I guess why not? They provide more population for you. There's less houses. When you're at full pop, it's going to be extra things, almost like you're role playing as Isis with her bonus, and also it's just cheaper to put down. So how much is his town center? It says free. That's not how much it costs. So we're gonna look at it. 315. So very, very nice. Some walls coming up, and we are seeing Nightmare is staying on that 1 TC. So we'll keep an eye on his perspective to see what sort of raids he can get done as this 1 TC Freya. Looks like Miracle hasn't got too many units out because of the 2 TCs, but the Minotaur is going to be coming in clutch, just as the kind of defender. And nice pull away of those villagers. Villagers are all going to survive here, but a lot of idle time cores, so that is something. Normally, it is a good idea to have one player kind of sacrifice their eco just to put some damage on your opponents, because if they don't get any units out, they can just spend all of their resources on the tech upgrades, on the eco upgrades, on villagers going up to the next stage. That's just a good idea for that. Looks like the Valkyrie's coming over to deal with the Minotaur. A Minotaur and Sphinx in here, though, and if the villagers turn around and shank, I don't think they're going to... Any of them are actually going to go down, and all of the raiding cavalry are forced out. A couple go down as well, so not ideal from that side. Ogneni went 2 TC, fast heroic even, so not wanting to build any units. Sobek in, I assume he'll be dropping down a Migdal stronghold very, very soon, and that's going to put a stop to at least aggression to this gold mine, and even probably this back hunt if he still wants to go for it. No, literally did just finish it up. And Requiem booming up a storm. Ajax here just to defend if the Sphinx wants to kind of come in. Potentially he might have thought of Ancestors Eclipse coming in, but there's no Ancestors. Did decide to go that Sobek angle instead, but there still could be the Locust Swarm into Eclipse combo. Both sides actually, eco-wise, very, very similar numbers. Because, I mean, they are essentially the same amount of TCs. I think Yellow is now grabbing a TC of his own. Asgardian Hillfort going up on the front for the fray, so wants his own TC at some point. Villagers repairing up this one nicely. And Nightmare, unfortunately, is just not getting the value that he probably thought he was going to get. I mean, I would expect that a 1 TC Odin through Freya on this map would be very, very good. I mean, that's what I was expecting to kind of happen. So that is what Nightmare decided to go for. But he's just, yeah, not finding. I don't think he's found many kills, if any, really. Did force back some of these green villagers, force back some red ones, but only really losing units. Unfortunately, runs straight into the Minotaur. Also, can heal these guys back up if he doesn't run close to the Minotaur. But I think they are going to get caught out. Trying to go after the Achilles, just so the Valkyrie has kind of free reign. But these are essentially free units for the Hades here. By free units, I mean the Minotaur was obviously free, but the 2 heroes from Hades, he doesn't have to build a building for, so that you're always going to get these guys out, and they're worth way more than the amount of resources they cost. Unfortunately, throwing away a little bit more. Not ideal. Looks like the boom from this red team, the maroon, the red, and the green, are kind of getting away with everything here, getting fortresses up. Mythical Stronghold, of course, up on this side. And Pretty Girl here, the Odin, is trying to put a lockdown on this town center up here, or at least a bit of vision, so that Liquidation doesn't get that one for free. I assume Rigstula came in at some point. No, didn't decide to go for that one. Maybe just forgot about it. Does have the oh, we do see the Locust form coming down, but Pretty Girl does have the favor for it. Just surprised to kind of not see that one. That's kind of the reason you want Heimdall. Unless it was to potentially stop a forward Asgardian hill fort, if they were going to go for that kind of all-in on one side with the portable ram rush that you can do in that classical age. It's like Nightmare's trying again. Going forward, that Pet Sutras, though, does so much damage. Shouldn't lose anything. Might lose this one very low HP guy in there, but not really. Requiem here, just chilling back, getting up to full pop with his 3 TCs. He's a scary looking score. And Skadi is coming in. I assume that's for... Who's that one for? I think that's for Blue. That's for Pretty Girl there. Coming through. And Mythic Age even coming through for Ogneni. So pure tech, no units. Just a handful of these camels just to defend against the rush. Well, not rush. Against the raid, sorry. And now Osiris going to come in. So those camels are going to be very scary with the Sobek upgrades and the Osiris upgrades. And then a Son of Osiris to defend. And some walling up of the map. A very defensive team game. I only seen one aggressor in the whole 12 minutes, 30 seconds. I mean, there are some really back gold mines here. Quite hard to raid. Walled off nicely. Armory come up. Still trying to get a bit of value out of these raiders. They're only wooden walls from the red player here, so should be able to knock this one down pretty quickly. Miracle's decided stone walls are in. Normally we see Frey get stone walls also just because it's so cheap for him, but haven't seen it this time. The raiders against these heavy camels, they're just not really they're not really cutting it. As soon as the mummy comes out too, the mummy, when these things die, they don't get knocked over the wall there, but as soon as these things die, you then get minions to spawn, and it's just pretty disgusting. Has Ogneni been saving up his favor? It does have 72 favor sat in the bank. Doesn't have anyone on wood though, so not deciding to go for those mummies. Could potentially use another locust if that's what he wants to go for, or even another prosperity.
Into you.
So both sides kind of sitting back. I think the blue Odin here has definitely spotted Liquidation getting this town center up, so does want to put a stop to that while it's going on. Also, there's a bit of aggression from those camels. And this actually does force out the Tempest. Probably one of the lower value Tempests you would really see. There's hardly any units here, but yellow is also coming over to kind of put a stop to this town center. And for the blue side, I mean, that's the sort of Tempest that I would love to go against. Tempest gives mad value. Unfortunately, all of these units are going to now be frozen and easy to kill, but that could get some insane value otherwise. Maybe against multiple people, it's just not worth it. Maybe they just don't freeze enough and you just end up freezing nobody. Liquidation also bringing his raiding cavalry out, deciding that he's also gone Mythic Age. Got a Fafnir out. Gollum Bursty gets dropped. This is a Mythic Age Gollum Bursty, so he is scary. You kind of got to run away from him. Just tanks so much damage. 870 HP. All the armors in the world. You've just got to back up. He's going to absolutely rinse that Frost Giant if he gets onto it. Unfortunately, clicked past it. Oh, and the Fenrir coming through probably over this side. Absolutely huge damage, but really nice restoration. Yeah, I found out yesterday that oh, that was a big explosion though. That restoration basically counters that Fenrir Inferno. It's not ideal for a classical age god power to completely cancel out a mythic age god power, but I guess Ceasefire does it with Fimbulwinter, so them's the breaks, I guess, sometimes. Does Restoration still cancel out Tornado? Because I know in the old game that was a thing. I don't know if it's still a thing now. big frost coming in, restoration as well. So, oh yeah, restoration on frost are on opposite sides. Son of Osiris coming in, trying to defend against these Ulf Jarls coming in. Do have Thundering Hooves, but I don't think yellow. No, obviously it has the frost. I think frost from blue and yellow. And it's a huge team game, god power. And I believe we've got 2v1. So blue is 1v2 against the Frey and the Hades, and then Ogneni is up against both Requiem, that's been booming this whole game, and Nightmare here, that's basically trying to get some damage done but hasn't. So 2 boomers plus 1. So blue is going to try and get the damage after this frost is finished. I'm surprised he didn't go after the settlement while this frost was actually happening. There's no reason to attack the units that are frosted. You will never kill any of them off. Maybe you'll get one if you have all archers that focus one side. Do you have a bit of a underworld? I hate that it doesn't pop up. There it is. We just got to see the massive green. And the massive green is in. There should be another frost, though. There is going to be a frost. And unfortunately, Miracle didn't stand around the underworld passage, didn't play around the fact that frost can actually, you can just garrison inside the underworld and then kind of pop back through. Takes a second to run away, but still, getting some damage done. Is Mythic Age himself, so it does have the scary Colossus. It looks like Ogneni is holding his own there. And Pretty Girl on this side is kind of struggling. Got probably pulled over everywhere with the idle villagers. And there are a couple of Petropolis, or at least one that is popped through after the frost. So we'll get some good damage done on this town center. Needs to bring back everything. Eclipse coming in. Eclipse with 4 Petsuchos. Unfortunately, one goes down very, very quickly. But you see how much damage they actually do to the Chiron. That's the counter to them. And now Son of Osiris in as well. Son of Osiris just melting these hot plates. The hot plates, I mean, they're such strong units, but they're just getting torn down. Manticore getting some decent damage done. The minions from the from the one mummy getting some Eclipse value also. Ancestors Eclipse, kinda. And now the archers coming in, trying to take out the Son of Osiris. Son of Osiris should bail, but I think the chariots have probably got his back. So they're absolutely fine. Petropolis are trying to siege down the Migdal Stronghold, but the Pharaoh is in a decent spot. And now all of these just running straight through and all getting carved up. Needs to drop his waypoint back a little bit. Green did manage to take down the town center back here. Yellow's back to defend it. I think that's going to be defended from that side while this is going on. Liquidation, the Fray, has got his Burgreezes that sit there and eat the buildings. And they'll be chowing down and just pushing through blue completely. It's like Requiem also gets Mythic Age, and along with his 100 villagers, you would assume, does now have a Plenty Vault to his name. Has an Underworld Passage whenever he wants to use it. Does have a Sentinels. Surprised not to see Sentinels on this side. Maybe they just didn't think it would make any difference. So can whack one of these down on a fortress whenever he wants to. He does have a Restoration to use as well, so potentially restoration over here if blue and yellow are going to form up on liquidation again. But I think Pretty Girl, the blue player, just doesn't have much at all. There's some absolutely huge berserk raids coming in too. If we move over to the perspective here, it is just champion berserks that they built. I thought maybe it was just some villagers that they've kind of transformed. Maybe they transformed 10. Actually, that was a huge Einhyar blast, but there's just nothing around, really. Just to boost up the other Einhyars. On this side, Son of Osiris eventually goes down. So those Gastrophetes, don't see these very often, but they're pretty good against buildings. 23 times damage multiplier to buildings. Look at them go. Actually, pretty good. Why don't we see them? Maybe it's just hard to get them out. 2 fortresses. You want to build your siege also. I guess you don't need siege if you've got these guys. Green storming through the base of Nightmare. And I think the red team has got a pretty good grasp here if they can kind of capitalize on it. Liquidation trying to. Grabbing his settlement. Grabbing blue's settlement. All of his buildings are also here. So they're just slowly kind of coming in. If Liquidation's on it, he can just snipe them down as they're trained. But really wants his town center. Has used the Golem Bursty already, and I'm sure he doesn't have 300 favor to spend on it again. But that'd be nice with a forward drop. But Requiem, with that huge boom, even after losing all those units, just throwing them towards the Son of Osiris, he had the eco to do it. So now he is slowly pushing through, and it's become a kind of 1v1 to 2v2 now. Nightmare, though, does manage to come through with the Fimble Winterwolf spawn. And actually, I was just getting really confused here, but it's because there's an enemy town center here. They've managed to spawn some Fimble Winterwolves back at home, which is pretty wild. Also getting some good damage to the trade. It's a really nice trade set up over here to this position. Don't really see a trade coming through from the blue side. Now Liquidation's also trying to get his units in. Or get his buildings in, sorry. So many Bergreezy, 4 of them. They're decent siege weapons. Even against a farm. They 2-hit a farm, for anyone that wants to know. But actually, Requiem, he is definitely trying to carry this. It's forcing himself forward. Can't use the Restoration for the second time because of the Monument to the Pharaohs. Oh, it isn't being empowered. It's tiny when it's not in being empowered by the Pharaoh. Pretty crazy. Looks like the Isis, though, basically losing everything. So we have blue being steamrolled here, and now we have red being steamrolled too. So they just need to make sure that they don't lose the villagers. They need to move them over somewhere else and basically just base trade. But unfortunately, yep, there we go. Ogneni is on it, running his units away. Hetzebek, unfortunately, getting caught. Just needs to make sure that he keeps some kind of villagers in this one. We move over to his perspective. 23 villagers. Move over to blue. Blue's got 66. So blue's in a much better spot. But I think Nightmare's also under a bit of trouble. How many villagers does he have? 55. And actually, green's coming over. Miracle is on Hades Violence. Going after the teal Hades. Underworld to come back home, I would assume. Underworld to come back home. Yes. Requiem coming back. Very nice defense from his side. Also, we're on the perspective of someone that can use Frost again. I believe it's yellow. Does have enough to use Frost, but really hurting. 61 population of 55 of those are villagers, so basically has nothing left. Needs to does have some resources though. Needs to just convert some units to berserks, and then spam out units. That's it. Nice defense. He can pop back through if he really wants to, but needs to get his town centers back. 88 villagers though. Village center going to be dropped by Ogneni next to this gold mine. This is what you got to do. Village center dropped here. Also, nice play from him. He knows exactly what he needs to do. Leopolis here getting a little bit confused. Need to come back and regroup. It's been all over the shop. We even see a Titan from green. Where's that one being dropped? Maybe it isn't down yet. But anyway, green definitely has a Titan somewhere. I'm sure it's on the map. I can just never find these things. The village center is indeed up. And we see an absolutely huge siege coming through for Teal, but he's got all the archers out. He's got the Heliopolis to deal with any of the siege. Has his fully upgraded Athena hoplites in a definite scary position. But the heavy portable rams plus Bergreezy. This is disgusting. 13 rams. 13 rams. I assume they have the upgrade. It's this one, isn't it? Yeah, they have the upgrade to what is that? Are they just trained quicker? I swear they do one that has more damage. Maybe it's this one. Siege weapons are faster and do more damage. It's an A gear thing. Also taking the Plenty Vault just for good measure. And the Fray definitely carrying for that side. Just pure siege. Perseus in, though. Perseus can deal with those Burgreesies pretty nicely. Doesn't have any normal units, though. Needs some normal units over here to actually defend them. Maybe Green could bring over his normal units. You know, Green's got a decent amount of siege out, too. If you can keep on top of it, then this siege ball is very, very scary if they can get to the right place. Liquidation also taking just every town center. Has 360 pop. Loads of resources. Can do whatever he wants. 100 villages still. Got a trade. Probably a 50 trade. And once this Titan Gate's in, that's going to be very, very tough. What's blue and yellow really looking like? We have blue here. 31 villagers still in it somewhere. Yellow also just right to the back. So it's just Requiem versus the world. It's kind of boiled down to a 2v1 here. And I don't know if Requiem's really got enough to hold it. It's hidden some villagers, but never managed to secure the town centers. And here he comes. The Titan is in. Not even animation cancel. We just get to see him pop in. Oh, he does a little roar as well. There he goes. And he can come forward whenever he wants to. We survey the map, and that's just enough for our blue team to run away there. And that is it. The Odin wants to stay in. There we go. Team 2 victory. Well played to Team 2. To be honest, that was way more defensive than I was expecting it to be. And I'm surprised Requiem actually managed to push this. We saw him basically just sack his entire army of hoplites into that Son of Osiris, but he eventually pushed. But the 2v1 to this side was just proving a little bit too much. And then the siege was pretty crazy.